Good morning, Hope family. It's my great joy and privilege to be able to bring a devotion to you on this Friday morning. We are at the end of a work week or school week, and I know the past 2 months have felt like an eternity. And it really makes me think a lot about the people of God, specifically in the Old Testament. I think about being God's covenant promised people and being forced over into exile. I think a lot about Psalm 107. This is something that we've been focusing on with the youth group recently. This idea that the redeemed of the Lord should say so. And so this morning, I want to draw your attention to this psalm and just read the few first verses. So here we go into Psalm 107. Oh, give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His steadfast love endures forever. Let the redeemed of the Lord say so, whom he has redeemed from trouble, and gathered in from the lands, from the east and from the west, and from the north and from the south. Brothers and sisters, this morning we have a wonderful opportunity to really make that time to pause and to reflect on the past 2 months. So many of the things that we have clung to for purpose and for identity have been taken away from us. And so the question really remains, where do we find our ultimate hope? I'm reminded of the words of Jesus when he said in the Gospel of Matthew, where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. And if you're like me, you recognize that you're a sinner and you fall short of God's glory on a regular basis. But there's good news for people like us. Let the redeemed of the Lord say so. In other words, we have a testimony from this season of self-imposed isolation, this quarantine. What is God doing in your life and in your hearts to bring you to a greater posture of repentance? Perhaps to give you a greater dose of humility. Where are we building our firm foundation? Is it going to be on a place where the sand shifts, or is it going to be on a firm rock? Very specifically back to Psalm 107, I think about the fact that this was written right about the time that the southern kingdom of Judah was able to return from Babylonian captivity, where they had been in exile for over 50 years, and they're able to return to Jerusalem. Now, we don't know how long this self-imposed captivity is going to be, but I think we can glean a lot of encouragement from the fact that the faithfulness of God's people didn't rest in their own efforts, but it was fundamentally tied into God's steadfast love. That's what endures forever. God is committed to you. He is never going to let you go, not only because he loves and cares for you deeply as his adopted child, but because his glory is at stake. God's reputation is on the line. God is committed to you and I far better and greater and deeper than we could ever hope to even begin to imagine. So brothers and sisters, take heart. Let the redeemed of the Lord say so. What is God doing during this season of pause in our lives? What kind of a testimony do you have to share with your unbelieving neighbors or your co-workers, maybe even their family members? Let the redeemed of the Lord say so. Until we meet again, God bless.